I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with a cattle market summary for the week ending August the 26th, where we continue to see this flushing of the equity in the cattle feeding business, and equity being the percentage of their investment that they actually own. Made some pretty good money there in 2014 and maybe parts of 2015, but this has been a tough year. Hardly any opportunities to make any money anywhere. And a lot of these guys that feed a lot of cattle in the big commercial outfits, they just keep rolling and rolling. But then when they get a call one day from their banker that they got a little problem, they need to come up with some more funds to prop that back up, then they're going to have to go in there and sell a farm or do something like that. And that's when about the point we're getting to, and they're going to have to start backing off on some of these feeder cattle, and it could affect the market there and maybe even not feed quite as many cattle. But you look at this week's dreary performance on the cattle futures. Live cattle for October on Monday was up just a dime. That was the only day out of the last 14 that has been up. 13 out of 14 days down, and that's a record on your live cattle futures market there. Tuesday was down 62, Wednesday was down 82, Thursday down 37, Friday was down 217 to end the week at 106.35. That was down 390 for the week. Your August spot market is at 110.35, so ended the week there with about a $3 basis from the very late sales, which were $2 lower on top of the $3 lower where the bulk of the trade was at. But pretty pitiful. And we talked about a year ago this time, the market was really taking a nosedive. Well, it's doing it again at the same time. Feeder cattle on Monday was up 57, Tuesday down 50, Wednesday was down 92 cents, Thursday down $1.20, and Friday down $1.87 to end the week at 139.92 on the September contract. That's down 378 compared to last week. Your August spot market went off the board at 146.10. You look at your CME feeder cattle index, and I want to show you something that smells about as fishy as that Clinton Foundation deal. But your CME feeder cattle index at the end of the week was 146.11. That's just a penny away from where the board, or the August, went off the board there. Okay, 146.11. Your real-time index on Cattle Market Central, a totally automated system that collects information from well over 100 sale barns, is at 141.27 for the same parameters right there. So a $5 difference right there. You look at your markets there, and the reason that that's propped up so much is because of all the direct cattle. Look at the directs out of Texas for this past week, and look where all your volume's at. Look at the volume there on the left side of that report there, and you see where all those cattle are at. Where are they? They're on the low side of the index cattle on the steers. Now that smells a little fishy whenever you got all these people turning these cattle in. Nobody goes and looks at the cattle. We don't know that the cattle are out there. Nobody really does. They're pretty much just taking the word for it when they turn that into market news though. But they're dumping all those cattle in there at a fairly decent price on the low side, or on the low weight side of the index cattle, which keeps propping this thing up. So your CME feeder cattle index is up over 146. You can't get that for cattle. And then whenever you look at your feeder cattle futures for September, it's at 139.92. That's what we got to look forward to this week. So you know things are going to be sharply lower again. And it seems a little bit manipulative whenever they're in there turning all those cattle in. They don't turn that many cattle in usually. They wait till the board's about to mature right there. And you don't see hardly any heifers, and you don't see hardly any calves. It's mostly just index steers. So you can see that the industry is manipulating that CME feeder cattle index. You look at the fat cattle trade this past week on 82,800 head through Thursday. They, you know, we talked about this earlier in the week if you watch this on a regular basis. The Packers went in knowing there was going to be a down week, went in and with their hat in their hand talking to those Iowa guys, which they hardly ever call, don't even know who they are. Basically, your Iowa guys have to call in and try to get a schedule just to grade and yield something, or just they're at their mercy, usually $1 or $2 back where everybody else trades. But they come in and talk to them and offer them a live bid, which they never get picked up at their feedlot for $1.15, which would be $3 lower. Well, they lap it up, which is not a huge trade, but all the other 4 areas of the 5-area region had to trade at that $1.15. And then the board continued to tank through there, and then we didn't really have cleanup sales. We had a few late sales. It was another $2 lower at $1.13, trying to get that back to the basis as August goes off, and still couldn't even do it as late in the week. Your August board failed even more and ended up at 110.35 when they were still trading cattle at 113, which was 2 lower than the 3 lower where bulk of the trade was at. But that's kind of a ridiculous market there. But basically your market was 115. Your weighted average is going to be close to that. That would be mostly $3 lower for the week. Your dress trade was mostly 180 to 182, which was $5 lower for the week. Although we did see some late sales from 178 to 180, and we saw a lot of guys taking 178 for a 3-week delivery. So it's not looking too rosy down the road. Box beef cutout values have not been performing very well. We thought that they had bottomed out here 3 or 4 weeks ago, but now it looks like they may test that bottom out again, as your choice is just barely holding on to that $200. It's at 200.34, which was down 90 for the week, and that's on an average trade through last week. Your select's at 193.80, which was up 26 cents. You look at your cash feeder cattle trade last week was $4 to $8 lower in the auction markets, fully $2 to $5 lower in your directs, and most of your directs are trending early in the week, and most of them really happened the previous week, late in the week, so it's going to be a bunch lower now. But now they're going to quit turning all those directs in at that higher price, so we can count on your cash feeder market to be quite a bit lower again this coming week. You look at Cattle Market Central individual quote there out of South Coffeyville, Oklahoma, on Friday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, had 120 steers weighed 817 at 135.10, and that's pretty much the market there in the Southern Plains. So that's your cattle market summary for the week there from a Home DV auction office here in Canyon, Texas. We'll talk to you on Wednesday.